What is up, guys? Matt, the owner of Tales Channel here, bringing you, hopefully, my last Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric related video. And today, we're basically going to be talking about what went wrong with Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric's development and why the game is what it is today and why it's so different from that reveal trailer. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started, but we have the maker of that Sonic Boom Where Did It All Go Wrong video himself. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tamaki from Unseen64. My real name is Liam. I'm a writer-researcher who looks into game development and the secrets of game development that publishers and developers don't want you to know.
Well, it's great to have you on here, man. I really appreciate you taking your time and coming on here.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. My pleasure.
So basically, do you want to get a little description about what your video is all about and just basically all that you found?
Sure. Well, my video is basically looking into, some of the unanswered questions of Sonic Boom's development and, some of the big questions like, why did it get this supposed visual downgrade and why does the early material look substantially better than the actual released build, Why doesn't it look as good as that? I really wanted to find that out, and I had a few Big Red Button developers contact me because I covered some people leaving the company several months ago, and
I remember
gradually,
that.
gradually some people came forward to me and wanted to, give their side of the story, and I kind of thought, yeah, this is kind of interesting because people haven't really covered how Big Red Button, how they felt about all this. I mean, we've kind of gotten a very one-sided thing and everyone's blaming them for it, so I kind of thought I wasn't trying to blame Sega in this video, but I was just kind of present their side to it as well, because things are never one-sided in these kind of development mishap situations like this.
Of course, and I mean, you basically told us that the actual reveal trailer was extremely different than the final game, and we all know that, and it's because the reveal trailer itself is running not on the Wii U, but on its own engine, maybe on PC.
Yeah, it was running on a much more powerful PC hardware. I don't have specs or anything, obviously, but yeah, when you saw that first trailer and they kind of passed it off as Wii U footage, if you still look at the trailer on YouTube, you will see it's on Nintendo's channel and they pass it off as Wii U footage. But if you look, they put a very vaguely worded disclaimer at the start that kind of, makes it ambiguous. What is it running on? But I think everyone most people anyway, believed, well, this must be on Wii U because it looks like it could run on Wii U.
They didn't tell us otherwise. They didn't even say it was running on PC. It said in-engine or something like that. That doesn't specify if that's PC or Wii U at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I thought that was kind of misleading how they kind of passed it off as Wii U footage, and they never said that, oh, this is running on a PC, so we weren't to know that it was gonna, seemingly get much worse in the graphics department later on, and it did, and you had all these people wondering, oh, what happened? Why doesn't it look like this? Why is the draw distance much worse, and why are the textures worse, the animations, why doesn't it look that good?
Exactly. And also you said in the video that, the game was being developed for, next-gen consoles, but after, that exclusivity deal, that's the word, happened with Nintendo, Sega gave them basically little to no time to, port that over to Wii U and, work on that.
Well, just to clarify what you said there, unspecified next-gen consoles doesn't mean that they were, they had PS4, Xbox One development kits. This is going back a while before,
Okay.
But they were just developing it with those consoles in mind, with much more powerful hardware. They were anticipating the leap in generations, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
They were anticipating that power leap. So they were developing it with, what was going to come, and they didn't know that the Wii U wasn't going to be, underpowered and everything, quote unquote. But yeah, and what I meant was that, they did kind of have quite a while to ultimately rebuild the game on the Wii U, but I heard that they were given very constrained deadlines in which, to present stuff to Sega. They wanted results quite quickly. They wanted to see it running on the Wii U in a pretty unreasonable space of time.
Of course. And what about all this CryEngine 3 stuff? Mind to, talk about that?
Yeah, so I said in the video, and some people have said that I was wrong about this, I said that it's not natively compatible. So, officially, CryEngine 3 is compatible with the Wii U, that's what some people have said. But in my opinion, I mean, just objectively, it kind of isn't, because CryEngine 3 doesn't support two screens, split screen, right?
Of course.
But the Wii U always has two screens running at the same time, streaming from the same engine, if you get what I mean. So, I mean, on that basis, it doesn't really support it very well. That, and it's terribly optimized for the Wii U, so the graphics engine, it's not meant for that system.
I mean, I totally get it. I mean, when you did the multiplayer in Sonic Boom, it was like a huge downgrade with graphics.
Yeah, exactly.
Frames per second, just everything. So, do you think CryEngine 3 is the culprit here?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, it would... I'm sure some developer, probably Crytek would be the best person, Crytek themselves would be the best person to implement that kind of split screen thing. But what I mean is that, not just split screen multiplayer, it's the fact that it's streaming to two screens. If you get, it's streaming to the TV and the Wii U gamepad at once. It always has to do that. So in a way, you kind of always have a form of split screen on, whether you're in multiplayer or not.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Because they also had that multiplayer mode in what is it? The party section of Sonic Boom. And I'm pretty sure there wasn't any split screens, but there was like you could use the Wii mode, so I guess that's why they didn't have split screens or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's right.
So I have a question for you in general.
Yeah, sure.
Whose fault do you think this is for this whole Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric fiasco? Big Red Buttons or Sega themselves?
Well, you kind of like pitting them together in a wrestling arena here. But to be honest, like, one thing that I want to emphasize to everyone watching this is that I don't think it is the fault singularly of Big Red Button or Sega. I think, there is blame on either side. If I had to pick, I'd say that some of the constraints that were forced on Big Red Button would make it more Sega's fault. It was their kind of mismanagement, their choice to make them put it on the Wii U and everything. But, I'm sure a more competent developer, somebody with better engineering resources, could have made a better game out of Sonic Boom. And, people with a better idea for that game, with a better vision, could have made a much better game. I'm absolutely not saying that Big Red Button is the most talented developer in the world, and Sega, came along the big corporate giant and squished them. I'm not saying that at all. I think there's blame on either side to answer that question.
I got you. In my opinion, honestly, I think it's more Sega's because, Big Red Button came to them with the idea of Sonic Boom in the first place. And the fact that Sega, I know the TV show, they wanted to go along with the TV show, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
The fact that, the TV show has 52 episodes, right? That would have went on for a long time. So if they wanted to, they could just delay the game for a later time. The TV show could get more popular, and then people will buy more copies of Rise of Lyric, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but with this kind of thing, you have to please like your executives. You need to present stuff to your investors.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, on Sega's side, they need to show that they have a master plan, and by having a big multimedia launch with games and TV and all that kind of thing, and potentially a movie at some point. By having a master plan, that puts confidence in their investors and everything, and that's what they want because this is a business at the end of the day. Of
course, yeah. When you put it that way, that's a lot more understandable.
Yeah, sure.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. From an artistic standpoint, from a creative standpoint, that would be lovely if they were given a lot more time to do it, and I'm sure it would have been a much better game, but, that's just the reality of the industry sometimes.
At the end of the day, they gotta, please their investors, as you said, and they gotta make money. It's a business,
exactly.
And, in a business, you gotta make capital, so...
Yeah, it doesn't run on sunshine and love, unfortunately.
Money doesn't grow on trees.
Exactly.
But anyways, one more topic I really wanted to go over. That first trailer for Sonic Boom, maybe it was before the video and maybe nobody noticed, or maybe it was after your video and we noticed in general, but they removed the actual reveal trailer from, you know, Sonic Boom in general, where it was running on that PC in-engine thing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So you can still view the trailer on YouTube. It's like still on Nintendo UK's channel, but it's no longer on Sega's. And here's what I have to say about that. When I was making this video, I needed a copy of the trailer to download, so I believe I went onto a Sega page to download that. So, I mean, I'm not saying that I caused Sega to privatize a video, but, I mean, that's kind of the way it looks.
It's not a coincidence?
I don't think it is. Like, personally, I mean, I don't want to sound too grandiose and, you know, to big myself up and say that I moved a corporation to do something like that. but it does kind of seem like a bit cover-up-ish, if you get what I mean. It does seem like somebody has taken note of that and said, right, we should maybe, you know, step back from any PR kind of backlash or anything like that. And, I mean, they've done stuff like this before with the early Aliens Colonial Marines footage. They removed that from their channel as well because they were in a similar situation where they uploaded footage that wasn't representative of the final game and kind of passed it off like it would be, if you remember that.
I never actually, you know, was into that whole story. Could you tell me more? So it's basically the same thing here. They showed footage that was running on like a different engine that wasn't represented in the final game. It was just completely different.
Yeah, well, kind of. It wasn't entirely Sega's fault in that particular instance, but you know, Aliens Colonial Marines was developed by Gearbox, if I remember correctly, and they submitted to Sega this footage and kind of passed it off as, you know, this was running on Xbox 360. This is the Xbox 360 PS3 build, and in fact it wasn't. It was running on like PC hardware, which was much more powerful, which is why it looks way better than the final game. And they put this footage out there and everyone was amazed, and then the final game came out and it was trash and it was glitchy, and it was kind of you know, a bit deja vu going on here. It reminds me of Sonic Boom now that I'm talking about it. So it wasn't entirely Sega's fault because they were kind of misled as well. They you know, along with us, they all thought that this could be a 360 build, but it turned out it wasn't, and it resulted in a lawsuit between Sega and Gearbox, you know, for false advertising and, you know, deception and potentially embezzling funds from the game to put in other projects, but that's a whole other matter. But basically, yes, something like this has happened in the past, you know, just a couple of years ago, I think that was.
Do you think Sega could be, you know, kind of getting another lawsuit for this whole Sonic Boom thing, or do you think that, no, probably not?
No, because you have that disclaimer at the start of the video.
that disclaimer quotes.
I mean, yeah, and you didn't have a disclaimer with Aliens Colonial Marines, and Gearbox didn't give them any other reason to think that it wasn't, you know, proper gameplay footage, and that it was that, you know, they thought that it was representative of the final game. But they have that disclaimer there to cover their backs because, I mean, they must have known. They obviously did know that it was running on PC and not Wii U, so nobody could go and sue them now for that and say it was false advertising. Even if, in my opinion, I think, you know, you agree as well, like, it is kind of deceptive.
Yeah, they kind of lied to us, basically. They showed us gameplay that, you know, we pretty much all got excited for. I know a lot of people were like, oh, the designs, but at the end of the day, it looks pretty awesome. Yeah. I mean, the graphics look great, the gameplay itself looked great. I mean,
I think technically it's quite impressive for a Wii U game. You know, if we were to say if it was really a Wii U game, I would think, oh, that's quite good because it's an open environment. You have all these characters running on the screen at the same time. I would have thought, oh, this is quite impressive.
And a beautiful Wii U game isn't like unheard of. We got Mario Kart 8. We got you know, basically every Mario game on the Wii U. Even Sonic Lost World. Sonic Lost World was a beautiful game.
Yeah, it runs at like a really solid 60 frames. It looks good.
Of course. But at the end of the day, what are your final thoughts about all of this. What do you think? And then I'll say what I think.
Well, I'd like everyone to like try and avoid the kind of blame culture. I know everyone likes someone to blame and likes a simple answer, but I don't think it's as straightforward as that. I think, you know, there's blame on either sides. Take a look at my video and decide for yourself. You know, who do you blame? I guess, and you know, keep in mind that Big Red Button were under some hard conditions in making this game.
Yeah, I think we put too much blame on Big Red Button in general, and we didn't really look at the bigger picture of what Sega could have like done to them as terms of constraints and like direction and all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there isn't blame on Big Red Button's side, but I thought it had been a pretty one-sided media narrative against them, that it was all their fault.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, these Big Red Button employees are ex-Naughty Dog for a reason, people were saying, and yeah, that was kind of bad, but
that was kind of rude.
I know, but like, at the end of the day, I don't know if it's all Big Red Button's fault in general. Of course, they made the game. Of course, there are things they could improve. Of course, you know, that's with every game. There's always something in every game that you can improve. Of course, it was a glitchy, buggy mess. We all know. We played Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. It's okay, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to like put more of the blame. I'm gonna play the blame game for a second. I'm sorry. On Sega.
Sure, go ahead.
On Sega, because they, you know, as we said, they gave them these constraints. They told them like out of the blue to put this on Wii U because of the Nintendo deal. And I don't know about the reveal trailer, but I mean, that's all I can say. Sega put it out there. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I don't know. I'm gonna have to place the blame more on Sega than Big Red Button, and I think I played Big Red Button much more about the game than I did for Sega, so I apologize myself. I mean, I didn't look at the bigger picture.
It's fine, you know, you're entitled to your opinion. I just say to everyone, keep an open mind about this kind of thing and be considerate of whatever conditions the developers may have been under, because, you know, I often hear, I look into development all the time, and recently I've been looking into Nintendo on something else, which I haven't kind of revealed.
I'm excited
recently,
for that.
And there was some pretty damn shady stuff going on there as well, so yeah.
But yeah, I mean, do you think that's it for the video?
I mean, yeah. Do you mind if I plug my stuff?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm at Dr_Cupcakes on Twitter. My YouTube channel is Liam R Productions. I'm sure you'll put links in the description or whatever, I don't know. So yeah, check out my videos, and I'll be, you know, looking into the secrets of video game development in the future. Look out for my Project Hammer video. I'm also looking into a secret Kid Icarus project that Nintendo was working on. So yeah, I'm going to be talking to way more developers. I do it all the time, and you can look forward to those secrets coming out in the near future.
And thank you for joining us once again. I mean, you were a great help in finding like what happened with this game, and I was really interested by this, and you know, I was thinking of not doing a video, but after watching the video itself, I was like, whoa, this is pretty interesting stuff, and maybe I should, and you kind of convinced me as well, so thank you so much for, you know, coming on here. And
it's no problem. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been fun. I'm glad I did this, because a lot of people have been, hey, thank you for looking into this, and I'm glad people appreciate it.
Of course, yeah, I definitely appreciate it myself, so thank you from me.
You're quite welcome.
But anyways, go ahead and, you know, check out his stuff as well as mine. Subscribe to the channel. We got more Sonic the Hedgehog news, updates, maybe not more Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, but maybe more new stuff. Let's just stop. If something big comes up, then maybe, but I think this is like my final video for Boom Rise of Lyric. I think we're done here. I think that's it. But
let's just sign a giant pact to never speak of this ever again.
Let's not beat on a dead horse.
Let's delete its Wikipedia page. It never happened.
But anyways, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest in Sonic the Hedgehog news, updates, discussions, and more. Be sure to check out Unseen64 and Tamaki and his stuff. And see you all next time. Have a fantastic rest of your week.
Bye-bye.